If everyone will now rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Just a reminder, please turn off all cell phones, and we're asking that you remain seated during the recessional. Thank you.
Welcome, fellow graduates of the class of 2003. My name is Katie McGuire, and I am honored to have been your senior class vice president for this year. It's hard to believe that the days of the yellow school bus, bagged lunches, and hall passes are already over. These past years have been a memorable experience for us all. The first day of freshman year, some of us knew each other from middle school and even elementary school, and others had just moved to Virginia. Either way, we were all going to Langley High School with little knowledge of what the next 4 years would be like. Together, we endured the freshman experience, walking the halls with the big seniors, and while a lot of us didn't know one another, we could all sympathize with the harassment by the upperclassmen on Color Day. Sophomore year, feeling a little relieved we weren't the youngest nor the smallest students at Langley, we started feeling more comfortable, and we got to know one another a little bit better. We even managed to stop and talk to our friends between classes right in the middle of the hallway. We were confident enough that if we stood directly in the center of the hallway, blocking others from going by us in both directions, that they would just have to walk around. After all, we weren't freshmen anymore, and we could stand in the halls if we wanted to. Junior year, the college frenzy began, and we were no longer the middleman, the sophomore. As juniors, we were savvy. We knew everyone's name, and we didn't have to go to gym class anymore. Some of the lucky ones had parking passes, and the rest of us did anything and everything to avoid taking the bus. Senior year at last. Most of us couldn't believe we had finally made it to the golden year. Every month there was a donut or ice cream party held in our honor, substantiating our superiority in the Langley pecking order. Not only did we all know each other, we all became friends and came to rely on one another during very serious times. We survived the sniper, the war, and continue to pursue our personal goals together. We face these scary events with courage and compassion. We managed to attend school, sporting events, and extracurricular activities in massive snowstorms, accumulating enough snow to make snow cones for the entire population of McLean, and more rainfall than ever before. We dealt with everything that came our way and made it here today together. We are well prepared for whatever our futures hold. For this, we should thank our parents, teachers, and the school administration for all their caring support. We can all thank each other for the great experiences and friendships that have helped us become who we are today. Congratulations to the class of 2003.
Good morning. For the past 4 years, your class has benefited from a strong leadership team. These are the people who represent your interests and desires to the faculty and administration. They have conceived, planned, organized, produced, and cleaned up after all of the class events. Every breakfast, surprise brag, dance, and field trip that you have enjoyed for the past 4 years is a result of their effort. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you this year's class officers. Your president, Matthias Martin. Vice President, Katie McGuire. Secretary, Ashley Curl. Treasurer, Rachel Erdman. And your SGA reps, Nagar Kordestani, Elizabeth Steele, and Lee Von Runnen.
Good morning. My name is Elizabeth Steele, and I am a senior class student government representative. It gives me great pleasure today to introduce our honored guests. The Honorable Janet D. Howe, Virginia State Senator. The Honorable Vincent Callahan, Virginia Delegate. Ms. Jane K. Strauss, Fairfax County School Board Member. Mr. Stuart Mendelson, Fairfax County Board of Supervisors Member. Mr. Donald F. Camiso, Coordinator for Cluster 1, Fairfax County Public Schools. Thank you all very much for being here today. It also gives me great pleasure to introduce our fellow class of 2003 graduate, Michael Greenway, who will be playing Debussy's Claire de Lune on piano.
Good morning. My name is Nagar Kordestani, and I'm a senior class student government representative. Today, it gives me great pleasure to present General William K. Souter, Clerk of the United States Supreme Court, as the keynote speaker. A man of exceptional character, honor, and intelligence, General Souter has served as the clerk since 1991. In that capacity, he has also been a mentor to the Langley K-Day program since its inception 11 years ago. A career serviceman, he has served as staff judge advocate, commandant of the JAG School, appellate judge, and assistant judge advocate general of the United States Army before retiring as a major general. The clerk is a graduate of Trinity University and Tulane University School of Law. He also studied at the UVA Graduate Law Program, the Command and General Staff College, and the Industrial College of the Armed Forces. Some of the clerk's many awards and honors include Tulane Law Review's Order of the Coif, Catholic University's President's Medal, the Distinguished Service Medal, and the Bronze Star. General Souter frequently lectures at law schools, bar association meetings, and civic functions. He is a husband, father, and grandfather. Please join me in welcoming General Souter.
Thank you very much, and good morning. Thank you for inviting me here to be with you for this very important event. I first want to extend my congratulations to the graduating students, their families and friends, and to the school staff and faculty. Now, the staff and faculty have a lot to look forward to, summer and doing the same thing all over again. As the introducer mentioned, I've enjoyed a special relationship with your great school for over a decade. I met Langley, not through my children attending that school. They did not. They went elsewhere. But I met Jim Catlett about 11, 12 years ago, and he's a person you can't say no to. He said, I want you involved in our K-Day program. I got involved to a very minor degree, and through the years I've watched that program grow and grow and grow, and I firmly believe it's the best program of its kind in the United States of America. Hundreds of students have participated in the program, and they've grown in many ways, including intellectually, by being involved in that. Now, one of those students was later a college intern in my office at the Supreme Court, where she did a great job. She then went on to law school, and she's now with a leading Washington law firm, and I think will be a partner in about 2 or 3 years. Most importantly, a couple of weeks ago, my wife and I went to her wedding. So it was nice to see someone come from Langley, go through the whole system under the tutelage of Jim Catlett. Where is Jim? Well, he's here. I know there he is. I thought he was up here. Hi, Jim. A great teacher that I know the school and the students and the parents are very proud of Jim and what he's done. And Jim, I will continue to support K-Day for many years to come. During my career in the Army, many young officers would ask me this question: how do you measure personal success in life? It's a difficult question, but my reply is one that is worth repeating, and it's worth remembering, especially for you graduating students. Genuine success in life is not measured by how much money you make, your title, or your position. Success is determined by this: do you enjoy your work, and are you making a contribution to something that is worthwhile? There are many avenues that you can take in life to achieve success as I have described it. Teaching comes to mind as an illustration of a profession where you can enjoy your work and know that you are doing something that counts, and that is educating young people to prepare them for their lives. The teachers here today certainly don't make a lot of money. I think they're underpaid. Hold your applause. But some politicians might be listening to me. But I know you enjoy your work and that they know their efforts are important. My wife is a Fairfax County school teacher, so I know firsthand the fulfillment that teaching can bring to a person. So I want some of you graduates out there to think about being a teacher. I was also frequently asked, and still am, how does a person succeed in life? And my answer there is very simple. An old World War II veteran told me this one time. He said, Bill, all you have to do is saw the wood in front of you. What that means is do your work, saw the wood, do it well, and you'll be noticed. Those of you graduating today will go on to college or other pursuits, and I understand a few of you are going into the military. All those are wonderful things for you to do. Keep in mind that being a good student and working or being a good person in the military is not enough. You also need to be a good citizen. That involves many things, one of which is being a leader. I encourage you to volunteer for leadership positions. You can do so at work, at school, and in the community. Now, some say that great leaders are born that way, and others disagree. Some say that they become leaders later in life. I don't think it really makes much difference. But it is important that great leaders have the same qualities. They are intelligence, courage, loyalty, patriotism, character, humility, desire, decisiveness, passion, integrity, intuition, unselfishness, and this last one is very important, and don't forget it, a sense of humor. Now be careful and don't confuse popularity with leadership. It's easy to be popular. Leadership is much more difficult. The same caution should be used not to confuse reputation and character. Both are important, but reputation is what others think of you. Character is what you are. General George Patton was a great leader in World War II. Oh, he was flashy. They made movies about him. He wore stars on his helmet, his shirt collar, his shoulders, and on his pearl-handled pistols. He wore riding breeches, cavalry boots with spurs, carried a riding crop, and he rode around in a jeep with a siren wailing. But he trained his troops hard, and he took care of them. And he took responsibility for his actions. I met a police lieutenant in Chicago a number of years ago, and he told me, he says, you know, in World War II, I was a 19-year-old rifleman, and I was in Patton's Third Army. It's always interesting. Old soldiers call it Patton's Third Army. Nobody else's, and not just Third Army. It was Patton's Army. This police lieutenant told me, now a much older gentleman, he said, I once saw Patton himself. We had just come out of a firefight, and Patton rode by in his Jeep, siren wailing. I said, but what did you do? What happened? He said, we all stood and cheered. And the man's eyes sort of lit up a little bit. I didn't ask him why he cheered. He probably doesn't know why, but he knew one thing 40-some years previously as a 19-year-old grunt. He knew his leader, and his fellow soldiers knew his leader, and they respected him. Now, great leaders also take responsibility for their actions. When General Eisenhower decided to launch the D-Day invasion in France on June the 4th, 1944, a large invasion involving hundreds of thousands of troops, planes, and ships, he sat down and wrote a press release. In case the attack failed, he had to say something. And here's what it said. Our landings have failed, and I have withdrawn the troops. My decision to attack at this time and place was based upon the best information available. The troops, the air, and the Navy did all that bravery and devotion to duty could do. If any blame or fault attaches to the attempt, it is mine alone. Fortunately, that press release wasn't needed. The invasion succeeded, and the free world was saved. General Eisenhower showed leadership and accepted responsibility for his actions. Let me shift for just a moment now and ask you to take a silent quiz. Don't say anything, just think about it. Name 3 Heisman Trophy winners. Name 3 Academy Award winners. Name the last 3 Super Bowl winners. How did you do? My guess is you did not get a very good score. The point is that we don't remember headlines very well. The winners of these events are achievers, but the applause dies quickly and awards tarnish. Achievements are forgotten because they're not all that important. Now take this quiz silently. Name 3 teachers who helped you. At your grade school, that should be easy. Name 3 friends who helped you through a difficult time. Name 3 people you enjoy spending some time with. I'll bet you did better on that second quiz than you did the first quiz. Why? Because the people that count in life are those who care and care about you. Now let me come to an end here by giving you some advice based on my life experience. You don't have to take this advice, it's free. Number 1, never miss the golden opportunity to keep your mouth shut. Parents? I say that because the art of listening is one that is difficult to master. I recommend it. Next, respect your parents and your teachers. They care for you and they have your best interests at heart. Continue to study hard and apply yourselves both in school and at work. Be active in civic, religious, and community activities. Read, especially history and biographies. Do not use illegal drugs or associate with those that do. I've seen it, my friends. Drugs destroy lives and they destroy families. Choose your heroes very carefully. Now, this is just me speaking here, but rock musicians, movie stars, and professional athletes are not really your best role models. In my opinion, many of them are phonies whose talents are dubious at best. Now, one of my great heroes is the late Supreme Court Justice Lewis Powell. He was too old to be drafted in World War II, but he joined the service anyway, and he served for 4 years in Europe. He worked for the Office of Strategic Studies, which was the predecessor to the CIA, Strategic Services, and he helped break the German code, which led to the Allied victory in World War II. After he came back from the war, he left the service, went back to Richmond, became a lawyer, a very successful lawyer. He was president of the school board when they desegregated the schools in Richmond in the 1960s. He was president of the American Bar Association, and twice the president of the United States asked him to be on the Supreme Court. Both times he said, no, I want to live in Richmond. Finally, he was asked again, and a group of his friends approached him and said, Lewis, your country needs you again. And he did something he didn't want to do. He came to Washington and served for many years on the Supreme Court of the United States. He put his country first and himself second. Listen to what he said in a letter to his son. The really important thing is to be somebody and do something worthwhile in this one life each of us is given by God. This doesn't mean making the headlines or making the most money. Many who succeed in both of these are actually quite contemptible. It does mean using your ability in some profession or calling in a way which contributes something to your generation. It also means being a person of honor, character, patriotism, civic consciousness, and of some leadership to your fellow citizens. Justice Powell's hallmark was unselfishness. I want you to think of him as you make your choices in life. My friends, we live in the greatest nation in the world. We have freedom, an orderly government, a solid economic structure, and absolutely unlimited opportunities for all. I encourage you to continue on your path to success and become outstanding citizens. Thank you for inviting me, and good luck to all of you.
Hi everyone, my name is Lee Von Runnen and I'm the senior class student government representative. The Langley High School Advanced Symphonic Orchestra will now be performing Remembrance by John Williams with members of the class of 2003, concertmasters Jennifer Wang and Eugene Kim. Jennifer is the National Symphony Fellowship Program and was in the Pre-Curtis Young Artist Program. Eugene has been first place in the region and the state for the past 2 years. He was also a National Symphony Orchestra soloist finalist. Please help me to welcome these talented musicians.
Good morning. The words salutatorian and valedictorian conjure up images of what these people should look like. From one generation to the next, we have created a mold into which we expect the salutatorian and valedictorian to fit. Our two recipients, however, are mold breakers. Yes, they are still described as brilliant, exceptional, and impressive, but at the same time, they are portrayed as athletes, volunteers, leaders, and always as friends. Our salutatorian is all of this and much more. Besides the descriptive words I've already mentioned, teachers and counselors also use self-directed, unlimited potential, organized, and orderly to describe our salutatorian. A swimmer, a volunteer teacher's aide and swim instructor, a National Merit Scholar and Governor's School attendee, and also a world traveler, certified scuba diver, and recipient of academic and athletic letters. Our salutatorian, with the assistance of friends, Sandeep, Meg, Vicky, Elise, Zinnia, Miriam, Richie, Elliot, Laura, Janie, Martin, Catherine, Katie, and Brad, initiated an after-school tutoring program at a local elementary school. Yes, our salutatorian is brilliant, a leader, a friend, and above all, he is Ryan Cooper. Our valedictorian as well can be described using the words already mentioned. As with Ryan, our valedictorian is so much more than the stereotype. Teachers and counselors describe our valedictorian as cheerful, diligent, confident, mature, having great internal strength and perseverance. A swimmer, lacrosse player and runner, but also a musician, a volunteer tutor, swim coach, and intern, a club and society officer, as well as an officer within the music program. Our valedictorian is active throughout the school. The ability to overcome obstacles is what distinguishes our valedictorian. From an early age, she learned that she could overcome any challenge through hard work and perseverance. She has taken these lessons and persevered once again as our valedictorian. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the valedictorian for the Langley High School class of 2003, Catherine Kovacs. Ladies and gentlemen, your salutatorian and valedictorian.
Good morning. I'm honored to present the 2003 Faculty Award. Annually, the entire Langley High School faculty honors one outstanding member of the graduating class. This coveted award is based upon the following criteria: leadership, enthusiasm, participation, contributions towards helping others, and academic achievement. It is an honor to present the recipient of the 2003 Faculty Award, This person possesses many outstanding qualities. Throughout the student's 4 years at Langley High School, this special person has consistently modeled qualities which encourage the best in others. From the moment you meet this remarkable student, you will be captured by a ready smile and a wonderful sense of humor. Our recipient exhibits care and respect for others. These attributes make each person feel important. Whether it is a new student or a reluctant participant in a classroom or a shy student in the lunchroom, they all come to know the outreach of the 2003 Faculty Award winner. His honesty serves as an example for others. His leadership qualities are also exemplified by the fact that he served as captain on 2 Langley High School teams. Outside the sports arena, our winner has had an art award named in his honor. He is an active participant in his church youth group. In short, our recipient fulfills the old adage, one person can make a difference. He has earned the respect of students and adults alike. Congratulations to Sterling Montague as a recipient of the 2003 award.
Good morning, seniors. This is your president, Matthias Martin. About a year ago, seniors, around this time, I stood in front of you asking for your vote to make me senior class president, asking you if you wanted a fun senior year. Well, I'm here, and I think senior class officers and I did a pretty good job fulfilling that promise. I could go on all day about the cool stuff we did this year and throughout the past 4 years. But today is not a day commemorating what someone else may have done for you this past year. Rather, it's a commemoration of all that you have done for yourselves throughout your tenure at Langley High School. I cannot be more proud of this class for its excellence and for all it has contributed to the Langley community. The great musicians, sports players, actors, writers, and academics. Thinkers and doers. 96% of the people in this class are going to college next year. And that is an incredible statistic for this class in itself. That also means that for most of us, today is not only a day of celebration and recognition, but it is also a day to look ahead into our futures and to recognize what we will be doing in our lives after we leave Langley. Today commemorates our step into a world largely alone on our own 2 feet. Our first truly independent steps into a world wherein the most important decisions in our lives are put into our own hands. With so much of the world out there to take in, it is encouraging to know that most of us will be attending institutions of higher learning this fall, where we will learn ever more and understand subjects on a deeper and more intimate level. But there's only so much one can learn from a book or a lecture, and so I encourage all of you not to limit yourselves to a classroom. A.B. Alcott said, "Observation more than books, experience more than persons, are the prime educators." Not to demean all the wonderful things that our teachers did for us at Langley and that they will also do in our college or university or wherever we are learning. To be there next year. They won't be there next year or in our future after we graduate. So take every opportunity you can to see the world, to broaden your horizons, and to open your eyes to new perspectives personally. See other ways of life with your own eyes, and get close enough to be able to smell the way they live. Because a trip to an unbelievable place can drastically change you in an educational way. With technology like the internet, the world is getting smaller and smaller, and human-informed relations are becoming ever more important. Even though Langley is a wonderful place where we were taught so much, it can only teach us a finite amount of information. And your chosen college or university will be no different. Travel into places that are foreign to you, whether it be nearby Amish country or the jungles of Papua New Guinea. It is always a very educating experience. Not only can you get ideas to improve your own life, but you can get a better understanding of humanity in general and get a better understanding of yourself. After having traveled internationally, my perspective on the world became totally different, as may yours. It is hard to believe how much $1 is worth in some parts of the world. I believe it was Einstein who said not to let your studies get in the way of your education. So always keep in mind that there is life beyond Langley, Virginia, or College Town, USA. You all voted me most unforgettable in our senior class superlatives. And it is one thing, and if there is one thing that I say that I do not want you to forget, it is this, that you're in control now. There may be people that are still helping you out along the way, but no one else is pulling the strings but you. What a profound thing when a child discovers that he or she can read on their own, or that they can open the cookie jar by themselves. It is a scary feeling in a way, but at the same time, a beautifully liberating feeling. It is comforting to know that for most of us, our cookie jar is an institution of higher learning or coursework while working somewhere else. With many of you, will be an institution of higher learning with many more brain suites than high school. But don't forget that no matter which cookie jar you're in, there's still so much more. What I mean by that is no matter where you go, you will never get a complete education. If you are ever in one place, there is always something going on somewhere else. Seek things that a college professor or a group of college professors could never teach you. Things that you could only teach yourself. What does it mean to be honest? What does it mean to have integrity? What does it mean to be evil, to be rich or poor? What does it mean, graduates, to be human? Because the answers to those types of questions change depending on where you are in the world, yet we are all human. Be students of your field, but moreover, be students of your earth, of life, of your humanity. Try to understand who you are before you understand much else. It's life. You only get one shot at it. And so figure out which one is your answer. And do it while you're young. Because when you're old and wrinkling somewhere, don't be thinking to yourself, what did I just do? What did all that mean? What did my life mean? Know what you're learning and why. Put a grand meaning behind it all. Einstein, the supposed smartest man of the century, said, "We should take care not to make the intellect our God. It has, of course, powerful muscles, but no personality." To close, I want to reiterate how proud I am of this class and all that it has accomplished, how far it has come. Langley High School is the best school in the nation. I don't care what Newsweek says. And to know that you're a graduate should be a great feeling. As you go off to college or the military or anything else, remember the good times you've had here, the award-winning teachers, the champion athletes, hopefully beneficial SGA, that helped make you what you are today. Don't forget your Langley roots. They help form what you are today and what you will become. No matter what you do or where you end up, truthful happiness and thoughtful meaning are your only honest measurements for success. Have those, my friends, graduates, and you'll need nothing else. Thank you. We're now going to hear the Senior Girls Ensemble sing "In My Life" by the Beatles. Let's welcome them.
There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends. I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living.
Before we begin, I want you to know that I heeded General Suter's advice. Don't open your mouth unless you have to, so certainly we'll keep it short. What a great group of students, and it is my pleasure to stand here at the occasion of your commencement, and it just really does touch me what you have given to us as a school over the 4 years that you've been there. This would not have taken place without several people, and I want to thank them at this time. Miss Elaine Russ, who guided you, pushed, and pulled you over that time, and Mr. Sanders, who picked you up at the beginning of this year, and if the Colonel would stand. Also, welcome to you parents, and thanks for all that you have done for us over the years. You have provided support not only for your individual students, but also for the school in general, and we couldn't be the school we are without you, so thank you very much to parents. Another group of people that push, pull, prod, and do whatever they need to do to have you sitting right where you are would be our faculty. If the faculty could please stand and be recognized. Class of 2003, once again, it's an honor for me to address you as your principal. You've endured 2 years, the likes of which have not been experienced since during World War II. 9/11 will remain the defining event of your high school years. Thinking that was over this year, as if that wasn't enough, this year brought even more challenges. The sniper that we endured, the snow, SARS, a very, very soggy spring, and that just gets you to the S's. Your senior trip wasn't a picnic, but we went to an arcade in Washington, D.C. The homecoming dance you had to go through a tent to get into. Those will all serve as memorable events over the course of your memories of Langley High School. You have experienced, and some would say endured, 3 separate principals. You've had 3 assistant principals. There have been 2 security directors. Only you made Mr. Orr retire. You've had 2 head custodians, 3 cafeteria managers, and 9 separate security guards. You've really been hard on my staff, I'd say. On top of that, 4 separate bell schedules, and for you juniors in the class, it will stay the same next year. So, an unforgettable 4 years. You showed your class in character because you'd let none of these events serve as excuses for you as you pressed on. You have become one of the most successful classes in our history. Your class leaders set new standards for successes. Your athletes have won an unprecedented number of championships during their time here. Theater and music groups now are among Fairfax County's finest. Your college acceptances will take you to not only Virginia's finest schools, but also America's finest institutions. In short, you set newer and higher standards for those following classes. Your legacy will be remembered as one of care and decency. And one quote, this one belongs to Adlai Stevenson, who actually told the University of Wisconsin graduates in 1952, "If we value the pursuit of knowledge, we must be free to follow wherever that search may lead us. The free mind is not a barking dog tethered to a 10-foot chain." Today, graduates, we loosen that chain and send you on your way, wherever it may take you in your pursuit of knowledge. It's now time for you to go. Go, knowing that we are proud of each and every one of you, and take with you those special gifts that all of you have in your pursuit of wisdom with the knowledge that will bring. Thank you very much. We instituted a new award last year to recognize that senior who just did everything for everybody at any time. A most difficult choice this year. The person selected this year was always there no matter who needed that help, whether it was a chorus trip, whether it was a tennis team, boys or girls, or a basketball team. No matter when you needed this guy, he was always there. And at this time, I would like to present the 2003 Principals Award to Joel Pinto. Joining me to present Joelle's award is Mrs. Janie Strauss, our school board member. At this time, if the marshals will begin bringing the seniors to the stage. We ask that you hold your applause until all of the graduates are done so that we can hear every name read.
Yasmin Hilmi Abdulbaki. Irina Abramishvili. Reza John Adabi. Laden Afshar. Miriam Serene Afkari. Martin Ahmed Akavan. Nicholas Francis Alarif. Carlos Palomik Alfile. Miriam El Khalidar. Lida Elizabeth Allen. Erin Rebecca Alpert. Saeed Naguib Alsagoff. Joanne Altos. Hussein Zain Al-Zahiri. Arizu Ansari. Stephen John Archibald. Varta Mer Aryaban. Andrew Sebastian Arizu. Eric Karosh Armakan. Seppo Aro. Koishi Asako. Rahil Usman Ashraf. Armin Avesta. Wint I. Victoria Marie Bach. Julia Alessandra Bayetti. Sarah Marie Baird. Catherine Grace Baker. David Warren Ballinger. Joshua Brett Balthrop. Todd Bain. Sarah Jean Banks. Darius Barakat. Danielle Marie Barbara. David Robert Barron. Deborah Jane Barrett. Karen Louise Barrett. Scott Andrew Barrett. Alia Suzanne Bardis. Robert Evan Bass. Richard Martin Bates Jr. Brian Paul Batacci. Nicholas Abraham Bazarian. Carrie Elizabeth Bean. Lindsay Michelle Becker. Manuela Barbosa Berntsen. Tecumtha Bertrand. Ravi Kumar Burwa. Todd Bevins. Diane Marie Bickle. Barbara Ann Bielich. Michael Adam Binns. Sarah Wendelin Bish. Nabil Ghassan Bishara. Sabrina Bindra. Amy Lynn Bishop. Rebecca Burton Blaustein. Kristen Ann Bloomstrom. Carrie Elizabeth Bloodworth. Ryan Richard Bloomfield. Laura Suzanne Bamer. Kristen Mary Boggs. Jonathan Donald Boone. Andrew Christopher Boutros. Sarah Elizabeth Bowen. Carolyn Frances Brady. Ranbir Kaur Brar. Stephanie Blake Britton. Tyler Lynn Brothers. Mark Linehan Brunner. Marco Alberto Buccelli. Robert Thomas Burgess. Jeffrey Edmund Burke. Victor Christopher Cabral. Joseph Salvatore Calcione. Edward Michael Calhoun. Courtney Jean Campbell. Joshua Bedford Carr. Randall Taylor Carroll. Chad Edward Cassidy. Brian Alexander Costello. Francesca Sarah Cantanuso. Brett Pierce Chambers. Michael Tinquan Chan. Simon Chan. Pooja Chan. Sarah Chang. Valerie Wei Chang. Aaron Raymond Sharap. Sonia Singh Chawla. Justin Robert Chow. John Hyungmin Chu. Scott Ferguson Clement. Sharon Fern Clemenson. Ryan Weiss Cooper. Tiffany Arpel Cooper. Charlotte Faye Cowdery. Elizabeth Stidham Cox. Jacqueline Schwinard Cox. Carolyn Smith Crandall. Brian Patrick Crane. Nathan Icon Crumpton. Kathleen Ann Culligan. Stephen Wyman Cummings. Matthew Gregory DeGata. Andrew Philip Darling Jr. Kunal Dutt. Thomas William Davidson. Colleen Acromas Dayton. Shugato Day. Patrick John Dean. Matthew Donald DiMartino. Sinan Robert Denny Brown. Jeffrey Philip Dietz. Carl B. Dillinger. Nicholas Joseph Dowell. Laura Dervay Doyle. Miriam Jennifer Droller. Jeffrey Ryan Duberstein. Alexandra Martine Duda. Stuart Scott Dunn. Jason Paul Dupertis. Joanna Lynn Eisen. Jonathan Willard Emery Jr. Adam Keith Engel. Charles Mark Enterline. Jessica Corey Erico. Vida Eskandar. Haig Alexander Eskandarian. Megan Kendall Unpu. Charles William Evangelisti. Matthew Parker Evans. Brandon Michael Fagel. Beta Amanda Faramond. Kiona Ferrandape. Kevin Douglas Flanagan. Andrew Collier Forsch. Elliot Salick Formal. William Lee Frames. Christopher Hassan Franke. Ryan Daniel Frazier. Nancy Lee Fung. Elizabeth Ann Gall. Alexander Galshus. Tarek Ali Gamay. Walid Gamay. Jason Stark Gardenier. Sandeep Kumar Garg. John Michael Garner. Christopher Kelvin George. Hannah Christine Sahuri Ganem. Shara Ann Gibson. James Blair Glennon IV. Eric Glidden. Abraham Hossein Gold. Susanna Lynn Goldblatt. Estebania Nogales Gonzalez. No. Nicholas Stockton Gonzalez. William Dayton Robert Gordley. Jesse Nathan Gorin. Ashley Ann Graham. Margaret Cleary Graham. Andrew Reed Gray. Michael Joseph Greenway. Jonathan Wyatt Greenwich. Amanda Catherine Greevy. Colin Edward Groark. Matthew Brandon Gross. Michael Chat Grovesner. Gina Kimberly Hahn. Ahmed Mustaq Hamza. Scott Alexander Hansen. Andrew William Harbrecht. Stacy Lauren Harkins. Kelly Maud Harmon. William Risk Harper III. George Kenneth Harrison III. Jonathan Haddon Hartnett. Jacqueline Ann Hayes. Christopher Jack Heflin. Cameron Naver Heiss. Ali Hamyari. Laura Elizabeth Henry. Raquel Carolee Hernandez Sevier. Robert Walter Higginbotham. Jennifer Rose Higgins. George Antoine Niche. Courtney Christine Hogan. Claire Llewellyn Hope. Alexander James Horn. Allison Ray Horn. Michael James Hausman. Timothy Sloan Hovanek. Jonathan Xavier Howlett. Eugene Ren Shaw. Thomas Jefferson Hugger. Alexandra Johanna Teepold Hughes Cayley. Sherman Singh Hundle. Richard Leonard Hurley. Jennifer G. In Huang. Kristen Sungwon Wang. Matthew Jinyuan Wang. Asma Fazilat Iqbal. Imram Nicholas Ishak. Michelle Christine Jackson. Noel Ann Janka. David Francis Jarvis. Kimberly McBride Johnson. Terry Andre Jones Jr. Erica Vale Judson. Gaurav Kapani. Dimitra Karamanos. Ali Kavianpour. Sasha Keller Tripp. Kelly Lenore Kern. Ali Nader Khan. Nicole Julianne Keefe. Karen Ann Kilgore. Benjamin Jang-Kyu Kim. Eugene Kim. Jacqueline Sungmi Kim. Kevin Dacon Kim.
Richard Brian Kim. Robert H.J. Kim. Johan Kim. Yuri Kim. Daniel Junpyong Kim. Reginald John Kipke Jr. Taylor Holt Kirchner. Jeffrey Charles Klagholz. Daniel Edward Knoll. Michael Wyatt Knoll. Julia Elizabeth Knott. Lee Knudsen. Dana Ann Kachba. Taranum Coley. Alexander Benjamin Koplow. Catherine Elizabeth Kovacs. George Steve Kranis. Luke Stefan Kuhar. Jennifer Marie Lawler. Beau Richard LeBlanc. Adam Christopher Legros. David Hyun Lee. Richard Day Lee. Younghoon Lee. Michael James Lennon. Andrew Philip Levy. Catherine Massey Lewis. Jennifer Layton. Ryan Alexander Link. Victor Loke. Jacqueline Katrina Loken. Mallory Ann Lapata. Jonathan David Loretta. Emily Shewin Louie. Christina Michelle Lulakis. Catherine Bryant Lowry. Whitney Cameron Lynch. Lindsay Jane McDonald. Elise Marie Makikin. Kevin Richard Magley. Jane Elizabeth Mangione. Alessandro Eduardo Mano. Beckett Bouchard Marum. Marissa D. Matthews. Scott Woodland May. Sarah Kathleen McCammon. Nicholas Ryan McCarty. John Paul McCormick. James Duncan McEwen. Margaret Ann McGinnis. Sean Harrison McGrath. Robert Jonathan McMains. Alexandra Pallavi McNair. Caitlin Marie Miracle. Anthony Christopher Might. Christina Rosa Malero. Kevin Wilson Milks. Brent Michael Miller. Jared Adam Miller. Matthew Ty Miller. Julia Grace Mirabella. Erica Ann Meir. Nicolette Molnar. William Hayes Monica. Marguerite Ruskall Monroe. Sterling Waite Montague III. Kihoon Moon. Kathleen McDonald Moore. Marta Asuncion Morales Sola. Nicole Hutchison Morgret. Claire Elise Mora. Alana Mary Morrissey. Patrick Neil Morrissey. Jessica Ann Morse. Michael Allen Mostan. Lance Gregory Mernon. Hunter Christian Musser. Alexandra Josephine Meyerson. Andrea Nakazawa. Colin Edward Nayrod. Dina Nawas. Hannah Lauren Nidich. Elliot Nethercutt. Sean Gordon Newman. Laura Elizabeth Newby. Charmine Atia Noor. Benjamin Thorning Norman. David Hunter Norval. Kaiden Nurazar. Philip Alexander O'Connell. Alexander Lee Orr. Bradford Tyler Pace. Rachel Young Polinsky. Andrew Reed Palumbo. Thikla Ponte. Hunwoo Park. Hyungjin Park. Mary Juhi Park. Louis Thomas Parrott III. John Frederick Patton III. Amy Elizabeth Peck. Kevin Andrew Pickens. Joel Albert Pinto. Altaf Moez Pir Mohammed. Ethan Joseph Pittleman. Karen Stephanie Plummer. Alexander Thor Pogozelski. Mikkel Prabhu Pankshi. Dennis J. Porter. Kevin Donald Potts. Christopher Lee Price. John Philip Quincy. Julia Lindsay Reagan. Rachel Hannah Ratafia Brown. Paige Lauren Rainsford. Emily Catherine Reber. Jeffrey Daniel Redden. Blair Catherine Riley. Meredith Dean Riley. Kristen Jane Renner. Charles Yorks Reynolds. Nicholas Michael Riccobono. David Craig Richards. John C. Riddlemoser. Christina Marie Rosetto. Matthew Evan Rissing. Sonia Marie Risland. Antonio Javier Rivera. Nadia Rizvi. Youssef Rizvi. Richard Ogden Roberts. Kyle John Robertson. Xenia Maria Rocha. Nicholas Edward Rodriguez. Rachel Lee Ross. Kyle Nicholas Rudzinski. Charlotte Andrea Runko. Jessica Elizabeth Sahagan. Fuad Sahuri. Layla Saliba. Jessica Kate Santos. Alexandra Saris. Richard Paul Scalea. Andrew Paul Schneider. Catherine Elizabeth Schroeder. Jessica Prager Schulman. Jamie Morgan Siegel. Elizabeth Jane Simmelsberger. Sean Patrick Service. Jeremy Russell Sheets. Safa Greta Shepard. Matthew Chase Shermitt. Evan McKinley Sherwood. Benjamin John Shen. Lauren Spencer Shirley. Pega Siadatpour. Basil Mohammed Sibay. Nadia Mudassir Siddiqui. Kimberly Laura Sylvie. Craig William Simon. William Conran Slocum. Kathleen Michelle Slovakoski. Matthew Caldwell Slowick. Wade James Slusser. Jason J. Smart. John Bulldog Smyrniotopoulos. Brian Allen Smith. Colin Charles Taro Smith. Kimberly Allison Smith. Courtney Bronner Smoot. Jonathan Ramsey Snape. Victoria Lasker Sperling. Alexandra Noel Stodgy. Andrew Robert Steed. Timothy Peter Stefano. Nicola Blair Stevens. Carolyn Ann Stewart. Dana Lindsay Stratton. Dong Yil Su. Kyle Douglas Sullivan. Emma Susan Sumner. David Sun. Caitlin Elizabeth Sweeney. Christopher Stewart Swinburne. Matthew Douglas Tamayo Rios. Brian James Taplin. Charles Adam Tate. Michael Sterling Turpak. Cameron Wells Thomas. Eric Lawhead Thomas. Jonathan Pukang Tran. Megan Ann Trosson. Stephen Judson Turner. Michael Alexander Ullman. Jeffrey Allen Van Hoven. Tracy Nasiroff Vanover. Seth T. Varion. Catherine Elaine Visnick. Justine Von Runnen. Michael Leonard Wales. Robert Lewis Walker II. Brian Patrick Walsh. Ronald Christopher Walton. Justin Scott Watanabe. Jessica Aaron Weber. Clayton Alexander White. Kristen Danielle White. Nora Lorraine White. Meg McNeil Wiesa. Sarah Elizabeth Wilson. Thomas Lee Wilson. Zachary Philip Wilson. Anna Lynn Wolferman. Thomas Walker Wood. Lauren Elizabeth Woods. David Scott Wyman. Chris Shu. Mark Kareem Yacob. Seiji Yamaguchi. Matthew Joseph Yao. Iris Yin. Miriam Zahir. Cynthia Jean Zino. Shireen Zaki Mohammed. Nima Dastan Zarai.
Lee Von Runnen, Elizabeth Adrian Steele, Nagar Kordestani, Rachel Catherine Erdman, Ashley Marie Curl, Kathleen Ann McGuire, and Matthias James Martin.
Graduates of the class of 2003, please stand.
Keep your hats on. One more thing. By the power vested in me by the Commonwealth of Virginia, I now pronounce you graduates of the class of 2003. Thank you. If we could have once again, if we could have the parents remain in their seats until we recess out.